Hubble, bubble, toil and trouble, bringing secrets of the magical world from the past into the present and taking a peek behind the curtain into the science of a traditional alchemist.
This is really an exhibition that thinks about some really big themes, some really big ideas about magic and science and belief and religion, and where all of those different things overlap, and how those ideas in the medieval period have helped to give rise to our ideas today that we have about what magic is. I think that people will get an idea of how magic is almost a sort of a universal value or quality that anybody will have an understanding or a belief around what magic is, wherever they are in the world, whatever period of time they come from. Magic, I think, is sort of almost a universal human experience, and what we look at in this exhibition is just one moment in human history and one place, and that's England in the late medieval period, and we look at what people thought about magic and how they thought in magical ways at that time.
Barley Hall has been taken back in time, yet many of the practices from the medieval period can be seen in modern day life.
They will have sort of an introduction to the theme, and they'll hear a little bit about witches and wizards and how our popular notions of what a witch or a wizard is today, how many of those come about and have their roots in the medieval period. So that's sort of the first area they'll come across. Then they'll move through an area that deals with healing and protective magic. We also have a room that deals with magic for foretelling the future. And divination, seeking out hidden knowledge. And the final area, that's the room we're in right now, looks at magic and science and how really we get the birth of experimental science in the late medieval period. And a lot of that comes about through the work of people who in their own time or shortly thereafter were thought of as wizards or practitioners of magic.
Some of the everyday items that would have been used by the alchemist have been found around the city.
So these come from different excavations that were done around York in the last 30 or 40 years. Most of them come from Bedern, the Bedern area, or from Swinegate, which is just around the corner from here. So this is a 15th century, approximately 15th century urinal. So it would have been used to collect urine. Most people would have had one in their homes because obviously there was no plumbing at the time. We've got some bone pens, so the writing implements made out of bird bones. We have skillet, a chafing dish, which is used to keep things warm and can be used to warm things up as well. A pestle and mortar, which you would have used to grind ingredients into powder for things like medicinal preparations and potions and things like that.
And the Archaeological Trust don't want you to leave with just knowledge.
I want people to come here feeling curious and probably to leave feeling even more curious. I don't think we provide any sort of complete or easy answers, but hopefully what we do is open a window onto a fascinating way of thinking about the universe, which in some ways will seem very familiar and in other ways will seem very, very strange and unusual. But it is such a fascinating subject area. It's one that I've learned a great deal more about in the process of carrying out research for this exhibition, and I think people will find it very rewarding.
The exhibition launches on Saturday the 23rd of June and is set to stay for years to come. Abby Walker, That's TV.